It's 5 a.m. and my breathing has stopped again. The world goes quiet like a storm right before the end. You bite at your nails as you run to the exit sign. There's no time to wait because the day has come. Every single night, never ending. It's an endless storm and the rain's unrelenting. But that's the way this world is run, though it is a hopeless one. Even if you keep on falling, keep on moving forward even if you're barely crawling. Although you're half asleep stumbling, you've gotta keep up the fight. Once again, you're lost and not rolling your head. Don't you see what you've been missing? You could be living out your wildest dreams. This tangled maze keeps on twisting, twisting. But through the chaos we will keep persisting. The sound of a bell calls for a new adventure and the start of a brand new beginning. I don't know which way I should be going. It's really scary to run not knowing. But with every step we grow stronger. I know that soon we will find our way because the day has come.
Soon enough, they found some unknown and confusing path, following it and leading them right to the forest temple.
Think this is it, guys?
Positive.
Well, only one way to find out.
They headed down the hill and walked over to the ruins, noticing items on each pedestal.
Chess pieces?
The group approached the ruins, noticing that many pieces were missing. The only pieces left were golden knights, golden rooks, and black rooks.
Looks like a lot of people already came here.
Well, there's no time to just sit here. Let's pick one.
Ooh, can we choose that cute little pony? Please, Blaze?
Alright. Pony it is then.
Weiss rolled her eyes, opting not to respond as Blaze took both the knight pieces and tossed one over to Yang.
Alright, let's...
What the?
Blaze wondered what she was talking about before looking up and seeing a Nevermore flying towards them, with two figures on top of it. Figures that sorta looked like...
RWBY!
Look, Zenya! I can see Blaze and Yang! Let's go!
What?
Before she could question her younger partner, RWBY grabbed her and jumped off the giant bird, crashing unceremoniously to the ground. Yang ran over to her sister.
RWBY! Are you okay?
I'm fine. Just... my everything just hurts.
What the hell was that?
Zangia's yelling was quickly interrupted by a loud noise. Blaze almost became fully aware of who was coming toward them because of the loud yell that had echoed toward the temple.
Yeehaw!
Is that Nora?
As if on cue, Nora appeared through the trees, riding an Ursa before it finally died, stopping just a few feet away from the forest from whence it came.
Aw, it's dead.
Nora, don't ever do that again.
Hey, Ren.
Hey, Blaze. Just give Nora, what are you doing?
I'm queen of the castle! I'm queen of the castle!
As everyone's antics continued, Weiss looked at everyone visibly unimpressed.
These are the people I'm going to be training with.
Weiss?
What do you...
The heiress turned to see Blake and Pyrrha being chased down by a Deathstalker. Pyrrha was knocked toward the others while Blake met up with them.
Hi, Pyrrha. Use your spear.
Pyrrha! Oh no. No, she's already got a partner. Now I'm going to be stuck with this blonde. Forever!
Great, the gang's all here. Now we can die together!
Not if I can help it.
RWBY let out a battle cry as she rushed towards the Deathstalker Grim, firing crescent rows behind her to gain speed. When the two met, the Grim swiped at RWBY, knocking her back with force.
Don't worry, totally fine.
RWBY turned back to the monster and shot at its face, though it did little more than annoy the monster. Going from hero to zero in seconds, RWBY turned and started running away from it, sheathing her scythe as the Deathstalker pursued her. However, as the Deathstalker struck its golden stinger against the scared RWBY, it received a punch from none other than BLAZ, sending the Grim flying away.
You okay? Well, I am my father's son.
RWBY!
Yang rushed up to RWBY and gave her a crushing hug.
So happy you're okay!
So am I, sis.
Hey BLAZ, nice save.
Hey, it's nothing. I know you do the same for me.
The two stared at each other a moment, then looked up at the Nevermore still flying overhead.
Guys, that thing's circling back. What are we gonna do?
Look, there's no sense in dilly-dallying. Our objective is right in front of us.
She's right. The mission was to grab one of the artifacts and make it back to the cliffs. Finding these guys would do us no good.
Run and live. That's an idea I can get behind.
RWBY grabbed a gold rook, while Pyrrha grabbed a black rook piece.
Alright, let's...
Help!
The group turned to see a gray-haired boy and mint-haired girl running from a mantis-like grim.
Another one?
Cover them, quickly!
Everyone combined fire to stop the mantis in its tracks as the other two students joined them.
You guys alright?
Yeah. Just give us a sec.
We don't have a sec! We need to go!
Can you two run?
We'd prefer not to.
No time! Grab your chess pieces and...
Back with a vengeance, the Deathstalker returned and rushed straight for BLAZ.
Run!
The new pair took the last black rook piece, and the group headed back towards the cliffs, coming across another set of ruins as the Nevermore followed them from the air. The group split up, taking cover behind some of the stone blocks with their allies as the bird flew over with them and perched itself on the ruins in front of them, before cawing angrily.
Well, that's just great.
Come on, move!
Before anyone could answer, the sounds of the trees crashing down drew the group's attention as both the Deathstalker and the Walang burst onto the scene. The group ran from their cover, pushing forward towards the Nevermore as the bird began to rise up in the air once more. With a flap of its wings, it launched a barrage of spear-like feathers at the students.
Nora, distract them!
On it!
Nora rushed out from her block, jumping and rolling to avoid the feathers before reaching behind her and launching several hard-topped shells from her grenade launcher, bursting into pink electricity when they hit the Nevermore and causing it to retreat. As she fired, the Deathstalker scurried up behind her until Blake and Ren performed a cross-slash with Gamble Shroud and Stormflower to draw its attention. The Walang moved forward as well to strike Blake until Mercury intercepted its claw and pushed it back with a kick. Weiss then leapt to Nora, grabbing her by the shoulder before summoning a glyph beneath them that pushed them forward to safety. Mercury, Blake, and Ren all regrouped, then ran after their comrades. Pyrrha and Emerald looked behind them to see the few at the back and the Grim on their tail. The two girls stopped just short of the bridge and turned around before laying down covering fire for the last few members of their party. As the trio got closer, the three jumped onto the bridge, shooting the two Grim as they spun around in the air before moving onward, but the monster showed no signs of slowing down. The five quickly turned back to run as both Grim lunged in to swipe at them. Racing to catch up with the others across the ancient stone bridge, they failed to notice the Nevermore closing in on them until it crashed through the bridge, splitting the group into 5 and 7 respectively. As the bird passed, BLAZ, Yang, and Weiss all fired at the winged Grim, as RWBY and Nora rolled across the bridge, turning back to see the others who didn't make it, trying to hold back the Grim that had them cornered.
We gotta get over there! They need help! Let's do this!
The two girls extended their weapons to their respective scythe and hammer forms. RWBY shot herself across the gap to slash at the Walang, as Nora placed one foot on her hammer and fired it off the collapsing section of the bridge, launching her to strike her hammer right at the center of the Deathstalker's skull. She fired her hammer again, just as the stinger came down on her, and blasted back to avoid its reach, accidentally knocking into Blake and making her fall from the edge. As Blake looked up, getting ready to throw Gamble Shroud to save herself, she felt a violent air current suddenly pick her up and launch her back. The force of the air current also collapsed the bridge where she previously was, picking up the students still on it along with some debris and forcing everyone over the two Grim to safety away from the cliff. The students crashed onto the ground, confused.
What was that?
The two Grim turned to face them as Zangia landed just in front of them, facing the monsters.
You all are dumbasses!
Zanya?
I shouldn't have to babysit you all. Now shut up and get ready!
Everyone got up and readied themselves as the Deathstalker and Walang drew closer. Meanwhile, the others at the top of the ruins looked across to the Nevermore, preparing to circle back.
Your call, BLAZ.
Hit! Whatever do you got?
BLAZ prepares to charge some key blasts as the Nevermore approaches. Jean prepares his shield and raises his sword, while Yang and Weiss set their weapons to fire. Soon the Nevermore charged towards them, and the group unleashed a barrage of blasts at the bird, though their efforts did little to phase the bird as it crashed through the columns and platform beneath them. The four leapt from one falling stone to the next until they reached the next platform. BLAZ noticed Jaune falling and quickly picked him up to save him, rescuing him from certain doom.
Nice save.
I got a plan. John, when I say now, you swing.
Wait, what?
Just do it!
Back with the others, the group had split into two to battle one of the Grimm each, with RWBY, Zangia, Mercury, and Emerald facing the Deathstalker, and Blake, Ren, Pyrrha, and Nora battling the Walang. The Deathstalker swiped the claw at RWBY, but she dodged it and slashed back with her scythe. The Scorpion recoiled and swiped again with its other claw, but Emerald threw her karma chains around RWBY and pulled her back to safety.
Nice!
It's not dead yet. Stay focused.
Mercury rushed past the two and shot up into the air with his boots. Once high enough, he shot himself down and delivered a hard kick to the Scorpion's face. He shot-kicked off the monster as its tail came down to sting him, giving Zangia a chance to fire a ki blast at the stinger, cutting it off from the rest of the tail.
Now you can't poison any of us.
Come on, guys! All together! Let's finish it off! Surge!
Everyone nods as Mercury jumps high thanks to Zangia's lift and twirls down as he slams its head into the stinger with his boots.
For such skinny arms, it can take a hit.
It's defending itself too well to hit.
It can't block if its arms aren't up.
I see. Nora, provide cover fire with me. Blake, Ren, try tying its limbs up.
Got it!
Right.
Following Pyrrha's instruction, Nora switched her hammer back to grenade launcher mode and fired at the Walang alongside Pyrrha as Blake and Ren rushed forward. The Mantis kept one claw up to defend itself from the incoming fire and swung its free claw at the other two. Blake leapt over the claw, throwing Gamble Shroud to Ren, who ducked under it, leaving a nice move it caught in slow motion. The two then ran around the Mantis, throwing Gamble Shroud to one another and trying to tie the Mantis up while dodging its swipes. They managed to tie most of the Grimm up before the Walang made a swipe that Blake couldn't avoid, only for the limb to be cut off by Pyrrha's shield that boomeranged right back to her.
Ready?
Hold!
With a mighty pull boosted by his aura, Ren tugged the ribbon and pulled the Walang's limbs together, temporarily immobilizing it. All of this gave Nora and Pyrrha the advantage to make the fatal blow on the Grimm, as Pyrrha yelled,
Nora, nail it!
Heads up!
Transforming Magenhild back to its hammer form, Nora jumped onto Pyrrha's shield, then shot herself up into the air. With a playful laugh upon reaching the apex of her jump, she shot towards the Grimm, launching her down in a spiral and fatally smashed the Grimm's head into the ground, leaving nothing but a fine black and red paste. After killing both the Deathstalker and the Walang, the eight looked up to watch as the Nevermore was peppered with firepower.
Only one left.
Yang was still burning through her ammo, firing at the beast with her latest shot landing on the beast's face. The Nevermore turned to her angrily and flew right towards her. Unafraid, Yang jumped headfirst into its open jaw, holding its beak wide as she filled the Grimm's stomach with explosive rounds.
I hope you're hungry!
Yang looked behind her and jumped back from its mouth onto the bridge below as the creature crashed into the cliffs behind her. Despite Yang's attempts, the Nevermore quickly recovered, cawing in rage. Yang looked up, smiling as she spotted BLAZ on the broken columns with Weiss rushing towards her. Weiss whizzed past Yang, then leapt into the air as the Nevermore started flapping its wings again to fly. Stabbing her rapier into the ruins just below the Nevermore, she created a wall of ice that froze the tip of its feathery tail to the ground, leaving it unable to fly away. BLAZ then flew up towards the Nevermore and cut off one of its wings as he punched the Nevermore up towards the cliff.
John, now!
With a mighty swing, Jaune decapitated the monster's head, killing it. With the battle won, BLAZ, Weiss, and Yang looked up to Jaune, who raised his sword triumphantly.
Well, that was a thing.
The group eventually returned back to Beacon, and it is here that Ozpin announces the groups and teams. Russell Thrush, Cardin Winchester, Dove Blomswing, Sky Lark. The four of you retrieve the Black Bishop pieces. From this day forth, you will work together as Team Cardinal, led by Cardin Winchester, Pyranikos, Lai Ren, Blake Belladonna, Nora Valkyrie. The four of you retrieve the Black Rook pieces. From this day forth, you will work together as Team Burn, led by Pyranikos.
Good job, team leader.
Good job to all of us, partner.
Zangia, Ruby Rose, Mercury Black, and Emerald Sustrai. The four of you retrieve the White Rook pieces. From this day forth, you will work together as Team Rosemary, led by Ruby Rose.
Yeah, let's go, Team Rosemary!
This is gonna be a long year.
And finally, Jaune Arc, BLAZ Wukong, Weiss Schnee, and Yang Xiaolong. The four of you retrieve the White Knight pieces. From this day forth, you will work together as Team BLAZ, led by BLAZ Wukong.
Not bad, Mr. High and Mighty.
Congrats, man. You deserve it.
I'm just hoping good enough for you guys.
It looks like things are shaping up to be an interesting year.